what's happening, guys? I hope everyone's having a great day, and as much as I would like to talk about the Logan trailer from last week or what happened on The Walking Dead last night, I have a film I'd like to talk about with you guys called In a Valley of Violence. No, I'm not a huge fan of westerns, but I did enjoy the recent Magnificent Seven. I love Ethan Hawke, and when I saw him in this movie, I decided to give it a shot, and I'm really glad I did because it was surprisingly good. This film's directed by Ty West, and like I had mentioned earlier, it stars Ethan Hawke as well as John Travolta and Tasia Farmiga. The plot kind of follows that usual spaghetti western structure. You have a drifter, he's crossing the plains, he decides to pass through this town that's under the ruthless control of this marshal and his deputies. He's confronted with a violent act, all hell breaks loose, the town fights for redemption, and you have a one-man revenge story basically. And it was a fun throwback to the genre, from the big bold opening credits to the choice in music, the washed out color palette. This film really looked like it was something that was created many years ago. The filmmakers did an excellent job of picking the right locations for this story. They built this town out in the middle of nowhere. It really feels secluded, and using nice deep frame shots and slow pans, director Ty West was really able to build the location up and pull you into the settings. I thought Ethan Hawke was excellent in this movie. He's one of my top 5 favorite actors. He really felt a part of this drifter, and his relationship with his dog was one that really made him a likable character despite knowing that he was really not a nice guy that probably did a lot of bad things. And I enjoyed Travolta's performance in this film as well. He was a nice character addition. He didn't have as much screen time as Hawke did, but he was a nice comic relief to this story. He took the dialogue, made the most out of it with his delivery. He provided some laughable moments, and when the plot pulls these two characters together, there's some nice back and forth and some entertaining scenes to help pass the time. But this film did have some flaws. I would say for the first hour or so, I was completely invested, hooked into the story, connected with the characters, really engaged with what was going to happen, and then I would say somewhere with like about 30 or 40 minutes left, this movie really takes a significant tonal shift from a serious story to a more lighthearted one. It threw me off a little bit, and it kind of pulled me out of the story. It took a lot of impact out of what it had built the first hour, and it was a really odd choice to me. There were just some moments of dialogue that felt very out of place from where the story was really at. It kind of built this really impactful situation, and then it tapers it off with a lot of comedy, and I didn't really get it. It kind of caught me off guard, and it was kind of weird because for the first hour and 10 minutes or so, I thought I had stumbled across a hidden gem. I was completely invested in what I was watching, and when it tries to go from these serious scenes to these lighthearted scenes trying to get laughs, it felt extremely awkward. It didn't completely hinder the film. I just was really enjoying the serious tone they were taking more. I didn't really like the Tarantino-esque comedy they tried to fit in. Overall though, I did enjoy this movie. It's not a bad watch in the comfort of your own home. The performances are pretty solid. It really has a nice western vibe from start to finish, and other than the odd tonal shifts, it really didn't have a lot of flaws. And this was a solid film for a smaller budget project. Hawke and Travolta make the most out of the material. Ty West's direction was pretty solid. He really creates a old feeling western that you would think was shot like 40 years ago. It was a good time. It just had a little bit of issues. I really almost think it's like a tale of two films. That first hour and 10 minutes was like really solid, and then it really tapers off in the last 40 minutes. It wasn't horrible. You kind of get where they're going with it. It just didn't really work for me altogether. And in the end, I think I'll have to give In a Valley of Violence a solid B-. There's detail in the settings and the wardrobe. The look of the film is great. It takes you on a nice western adventure, just an odd one at times. And that's my review of In a Valley of Violence, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I definitely do appreciate it. If you happen to check this movie out this weekend, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. As always, I'm Anthony. This is a SilverScreen Analysis, and I'll catch you guys at the movies.